Hi, Leo. I think you got a glimpse of Muffin. She's shy kitty cat. She'd rather stick to herself, you know. All right, so welcome to this place. Oh, I'm gonna roll this. Hold on a second. Hopefully, it won't be too loud, annoying, and loud. 6 month. We're looking at 6 month forecast. Hold on. You want to put your intention in, or ask a question? Okay. 9th house, 10th house, so your MC and Mars. Okay, so Spirit's coming through pretty strong. You were recorded on the same day as Aquarius, so I find that's usually like an extended reading specifically, so if you want to go there, feel free. Just a minute. So 6 month forecast. This is going from eclipse to eclipse. It's also sort of the transit of Jupiter, which will be retrograde most of this period. And he will be squaring Saturn, which is opposing him. So what are we talking about? We're talking about taking it easy over the next 6 months. Not that there can't be fun. I see creativity happening and fun things to do, but it's kind of like practical things will be attended to as well. Technically, this eclipse period, they usually run in 6 month cycles. Some people will extend that to a year and a half. This could be time periods you'd want to look at. If you're wondering about where you're at, look at where you've been 6 months, a year and a half. You could also go back if you really want to. You don't need to, but it also runs in 18-year cycles, or maybe when you're 18. 9 years ago. So, last year, so where this eclipse, these eclipse points are for you is it starts in your second house. So, this has a lot to do with, I like to call it the second story of the house. The second house. It's where you build, like, upon you. You know what I mean? Could have to do with financial things also, just figuring out like what's important to you and what you value. And then you'll be closing as you walk this 6 month period. The next set of eclipses will sit in your 8th house. Which is another really big house. And again, Aquarius being on the same day and your opposite sign created like a mirror, so I really suggest going there for more of an understanding, because again, this space is such a big space, it's sort of hard to explain. Could be putting some things in order in relation to when you're 48. I guess this is, I'm seeing an 11. Okay, let's see what Zumi's wisdom is for you for this time period, Leo. Objective. Okay, so we're meant to keep objective, not subjective. That's the direction. And that direction will lead to stability. Okay, just a sec. Well, it could be like a home direction or a relationship direction. Could even have something to do with family, especially as you rolled Mars. Mars is nicely aspecting you at this time. Muffy. Muffy. What are you doing? What are you doing? You can't go that way. It's too tricky. I mean, you probably can, but you're gonna knock something over. Come here. Come here. All right. The objective direction of stability. So we're meant to look at something practically over these next 6 months. Where you live, who you're married to. Fourth house to me is the father also. Aquarius talked a lot about feminine kind of family energy. Yours feels more masculine. Just kind of interesting to me. Let's see. Objective. What's Zoomy? Purpose. Which is connected to direction. Oh, okay. So this objective card is also it's showing the representation of the when we get into April, where you go from October to April. It's a 6-month process, autumn to spring. By the time you get to April, a purpose is now known. Like there, it's so as long as you keep, I guess, kind of on the straight and narrow, I'm seeing this as the path. And Aquarius, oh my God, yes. And Aquarius talked about this. Okay, this is like the good line, right? Here's you. You're good. This is better than. This is worse than. As long as you stay on this path, you're good. You could do better than. But the way that this image kept coming with them, where this was showing, but it was this way. Where it was like an arrow, and now you're this way on the other side. So these 2 points are coming, together, which are going right towards Polaris, which again is like this directional star, right? You want to go out, Muffy? Hold on. It's a very particular kitty cat. Watch the birds. I want to put these on my head. As soon as I do, she's going to be like, let me out of here. Okay. So, maybe there's something about Christmas. Well, I guess it's another way to look at it is to say, okay, if a person has an objective, there's like an object in the future, in the periphery, maybe. There's a point of reference. Right? So you're supposed to follow the North Star. If she does want to go out. I'll do it. Hold on. Now I'm tangled. Of course my hair's super curly today too. Alright. Come on. Let's go. Go ahead, David. See ya. See you later. They're warm too. It feels really good. So maybe if someone's finding more purpose in objects or in the direction that they're heading. I guess a part of it is that a person may not what's the word? Power. This is sort of the Six of Swords in this deck. It's connected to that, which sometimes is like, okay, we're going this way. But you don't really know what it's going to be like when you get to the other side of it. That may be a bit of what the 6 months process is. But I heard don't lose your direction. And I guess you'd want to go over like, all right, this is, again, these are my objectives. Right? Because objectives, I guess, is kind of a plan too, right? Okay. Maybe you'd want to talk to somebody else about this if you haven't. They could help you, perhaps. It's all working towards the greater good. Oh, some of you have North Node, South Node. I guess that is the eclipses, is the North and South Node, but some of you also have that specifically in Leo and Aquarius, or it's when that has happened. I think the North Node was in Leo maybe 6 years ago. Okay, let's see, Leo. All right, not those ones. Just gotta shuffle a little better. These are practical relationships too. Because these cards represent the Ace of Swords and the Four of Wands. So there could have been some kind of, I heard truth that has come through in relation to family or our relationships. Empress. Aquarius had that, and Justice, yeah. Yeah, I heard again, Aquarius, especially if you're there's some strong connection with a female. Aquarius's reading will be helpful. Okay, let's see the next 6 months, Leo. The next 6 months, please. Justice again. Awesome. Alright, what goes with her? Because that's just being... It's karma, so... And that can come in a variance of forms. Let's see. Leo energy. I know I could make this do this if I wanted it to, like, kind of, but I don't want to manipulate that. Like, I want it to naturally happen the way that works for me. Oh my god, Aquarius had the Popus, had the High Priestess. Okay, just a second. So you wanted to know about the next 6 months. How's that gonna go? What's the messages? Justice and the Popus. So you have two major arcana. That is the High Priestess in this deck. Aquarius, remember, had this, so that's just a confirmation that reading will be of service. Somebody's waiting on communication. Somebody either decided to be celibate or is celibate, or they're going through, there's some kind of spiritual thing happening. keep seeing the star Eros, Eros. That's really connected to wired to romance. And this Justice card, again, is another relationship card. It's like how we want to show up in our relationships, right? How we have shown up in our relationships, how we want to deal with where we are now. And the High Priestess coming next is sort of, well, what did we just do there? Kind of lean back, put our fingers sort of to kind of close our mouth, but we're also in a contemplation, holding the chin up. Kind of energy. So someone's trying to figure something out. If something just isn't happening, didn't we say there's an object in the periphery? Okay. Again, I cannot emphasize enough how important Aquarius's reading is, again, because it's basically, it's kind of the same reading, but there's different, we're expressing it in different ways, or putting language around the in-between places. Do you know what I mean? So right now, again, here's your path, right? Stay on the good path, you're good. Now, if this is what is behind you, perhaps you don't want to just pay attention to like horse blinder into one space, because in your periphery, right, there is something that is meant to get, there's an object, or there is something, perhaps an object of your desire that is or of service that is in your periphery. You don't have to go backwards or turn around or anything, but it's there. So maybe you're meant to widen your scope a little bit. Maybe some of you have been horse blindering something, and you're meant to expand on that. Like, right, if you can't do this one thing, okay, so when this transit is happening again, Jupiter is retrograde from August 9th until February 2nd. That's going to be squaring Saturn. And its last strong square exact square will be the end of the year. After that, it's going to kind of loosen its reins a little bit, where we can start expanding. But when Jupiter's retrograde, as it is a planet of expansion, it being, again, in retrograde and square to Saturn, is going to ask us to kind of pull that back in and be very practical and logical. Like, you have the Seven of Wands here. That says, okay, I'm walking straight on the path again. There's a big 4 in my way. Okay, you can walk around that. You're not straying too far from the path. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can safely sort of mosey, and at very least observe. Right, because maybe it's just about energy, right? What did we say? Where we put our attention, what creates our intention? I don't know if that's what they say. Who's they? Okay, I kind of specifically see this, and we're talking to a lot of folks, and I feel I want everyone to be in healthy relationships with everybody else. That's how these Opal oracles started, right? They were always relationship readings, mostly relationship to ourselves, because once we know that, then we can have, different kinds of relationships if we want with other people, become more aware of that. So if you've been more sexually active than, and this is single or involved with someone, then you may be feeling blocked sexually, because you're working through different spiritual spaces, right? When we're most monks, or when people that are very disciplined in their spiritual practice are generally, sex is not a part of that, right? Even if you're a Vestal Virgin, like even if you're one of the sacred ones there, like that's even very specific sexual energy, right? And it's only for healing. It's not for reproduction, it's just for healing. But even then, again, it's selective. So someone may be feeling a bit blocked with that. If you are single, I would, or whatever it is, it's like, let's see, Hangman. Well, I guess when Jupiter goes retrograde in February, then something will open up there. Um, you'd really want to trust yourself with relationships, because it's not. Well, I heard someone say it's not you, it's me. So someone has self-awareness of a situation and they're not projecting anything. Okay, good. Because we also have the King of Wands here, which in essence is you, but it's also a fire. It's also a male energy. So someone was in the military. If you are just dating and there's a big block, and like you're not married, but I don't know if you're friends with benefits or what, but if it's like that, I feel like a person might be like, not really. Like maybe some of you decide to not have a certain kind of connection because perhaps your objective has shifted in some way or another, right? When we change one thing, whether that's saying yes or being conscious of our yeses and our nos, but whatever that is, it always shifts the other one, right? So maybe a person's just becoming more conscious of this kind of thing. Like, shoot, you could be Justice married to your soulmate, the High Priestess, but at times there's like space in ways of the different ways that you're connecting. That doesn't mean you get divorced. It just means that there's like changes going on in things. And I actually see a very patient person. I think someone figures it out. I could also see spiritual space is very strong right now. Someone has very strong spiritual protection. There could also be a tarot reader or an astrologer that I heard is on your team, and it's like someone speaks your language. Someone speaks a person's language, even when... Oh, but if you're the kind of person that you expect someone to read your body language, not everyone is so good at that. Like to read your energy, or to read like when you're using like nonverbal expression. Some of you may just feel a lot in your body and you think like, oh, of course they can, someone's going to pick up on how I feel, but like you don't realize how stoic you are. Do you know what I mean? So I guess that's where we'd want to use the Hermit, huh? Yeah, because maybe if the... I guess it depends on the purpose, too, and the direction, but, like... As we start out with two majors in the spirit... in strong spirit realm, pure spirit realm here, and they're positive... Well, I guess there's something that someone's trying to figure out, and they do figure out. There's also something that someone's... If you've been in a zone where you're trying to figure something out, and it's just not working, then... Well, what does Zumi have to say about that? Poise, just wait. This is the Two of Pentacles again. It's like, just... Remember, go slowly. Saturn's opposing you. It's not comfortable energy. I'm sure you already feel it in your body, all of you. Like the last year and change at least, where it's like, especially this 2024, it's where it's felt slower, right? Maybe less energy about something, maybe a lot on your plate, maybe not getting that much more of something, even though you're putting in a lot of work. I mean, with that, if this is your purpose and direction, that's different. If this has to do with someone else and you're not being respected, that's a completely different situation. Pleasure. And I think that would be more of like, again, if it was a shitty like dating situation, you know, or some kind of something that doesn't work for you anymore. You know, like if you've tried every way possible, then that's different. But I think that's more of the lesson that people have had to learn in the past. Also, it's like it's not a new lesson if it's happening. And if you've already worked through that and don't self-sabotage like that anymore, like taking less than, then congratulations. Jupiter also represents wisdom. The High Priestess and Justice also show me great wisdom. King of Wands is also a person of great wisdom. Like, King of Wands has a lot of experience. You know what I mean? It's, this is a confident character. It's more about doing than it is about saying. You know, it's like what do they say? You know a person by their fruit. You know a person by what they do. And so actually, if you've been like kind of stuck creatively, a little celibacy would do some of you good. Again, if that's been stuck and you haven't done that, then I heard figure out how to, oh my god, do you remember the reading where it's like, yeah, I was talking about how I polished and sharpened, I sharpened and polished and oiled all my tools. And I was like, yeah, don't forget, Leo, you gotta polish your tool too. Choices. And integrity. Integral choices. Okay, yeah, that's the thing. So if we just took what we have here, and this is like the reading, right? Next 6 months, we have Justice, High Priestess, Seven of Wands, King of Wands. And then we have objective purpose. So trust yourself. Your dreams could be strong. I heard some of you could learn how to use dream work better and ask, like use your dreams as a tool. Any of you going to therapy is very good. Or again, if you work with some kind of advisor more regularly, that's very positive. I'd like to know, well, Seven of Wands does speak of, I guess, where someone is, they know how to take care of themselves. But sometimes it's a little bit of a waste of energy. It depends how confident, I guess, a person feels in relation to what they've already done. Right? If they feel good about what has been, then that Seven of Wands turns into a very positive position. If a person doesn't feel very confident about what has happened, then they're going to feel more defensive. Do you know what I mean? Let's see. Queen of Wands, so the King and Queen of Wands, wow. Let someone do what they're gonna do. Because I guess what I was wondering is, because in a way, this is a little bit of a slowdown card, right? We can't push the Seven of Wands, but we can hold position. And I just saw like an ocean where it was like really sort of stormy, like you wouldn't go swimming, right? When that's happened, there's a Seven of Wands kind of example. So I was wondering, like, because I feel like what's going to happen is this gate comes down and then these two things can meet. And what happens? So someone's replenishing their energy. When's the last time you used a lot of sexual energy? When's the last time you used a lot of creative energy? It could be physical creative, it could just be mentally creative, like I'm brainstorming things. And then I see, when have you been using a lot of emotional energy? And maybe you want to weigh these out. And if for some reason you happen to lose objective to where you are, things, because when we're subjective, we're being, I guess, well, someone's being, I heard, sentimental about it. When is that? 7 weeks? So it would be about when we get into December. I feel like someone's energy's in the right place. Or late, like kind of late November. Oh, this is also Pluto and Libra. Oh, so someone's scared of relationships, of actual commitment. Or they've been divorced before. Whatever you felt far away from, you get closer to it. Yeah, someone's trying to put two things together that it's hard to put together, like, just intellectually. It's like you'd have to use your soul to, or spirit is a part of it, something. We talked a little bit about Vesta too. She could also be important. Vesta and Eros. Again, I guess we saw Pluto. So your second house, your 8, 9, 10. $27, $28, $29, $10, $11. I see again, please watch Aquarius's reading. I'll put a link to it. Okay. I love that the king and the queen came out of the same suit. That's a very powerful couple. It's kind of like a power couple, technically. This is also just like creative folks coming together for really good things. And you know what? This is this path, staying on the path, checking out your periphery. This is also who you come across. Whether you're the king or the queen, it's like you find other folks that are on that. You know, more people that feels like it's purposeful. You know, they have a similar, they're trying to do similar things, or you know, each is here to help the other. The Pope, yeah. This actually, for some of you, could be kind of like your soulmate or somebody that you would marry. Or they help you find a house, or they help you to understand, again, family. Or they become new family. There's the Four of Wands again, with the star. Wow. Other fire signs could be helpful. Especially, I'm seeing, it doesn't have to be sun sign, it could be like fire rising. Okay. Gonna leave that like that. I hope this was helpful. We'll talk more about that Jupiter square and all that kind of stuff, but a little bit later. Alright, take care, Leo.